Stampin' friends, happy Wednesday. Okay, I am just checking my computer to see if I'm on. Looks like I'm on. Let me just check the volume. Yep, good. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back. I have a fun fold today. I'll get to that in just a minute. Hi Sherry. Announcements. Same announcements as last week. There's the starter kit special. So you get an extra $30 this month in the starter kit. Instead of $125 in product, you get to choose $155, whatever you want, and you pay $99, and shipping is free. So it's $99 plus tax. Okay, so that's a great deal. And I have the adhesive back stars with a $35 order this month. With that host code, if your order is under $150, that's these guys. I've used some of them. Hard to see here on white. But if you are ordering a large order over $150, take your own host rewards. You'll still get gifts from me. But for the other ones, I like to collect the Stampin' rewards that way. That helps me pay for my gifts. All right, so the card we have today was inspired, again, by a card we made at our team event last week. And this was a card Mindy Gray taught. This is a faux stair step card. Hi guys, hi. It stands like so, and let me give you the side view of it. Really fun. One thing I love about it, it's sized so that both the front piece and this inside piece, this would be a 3 by 4 inch focal point and 3 by 4 inch DSP. So really great for the use of your Memories and More cards. You can see Mindy's got this one, and there's so many good ones that could go here. So you could make, you know, some quick cards because the focal points are easy this way, right? You could also use the other sides where appropriate, like I think some of these have, oh, that's cute too, patterns that you could use like on the inside here where this striped designer paper is. Okay, so just a great use, efficient use of these, and also efficient use of, if you're going to use DSP, the 12 by 12 DSP, right? Because you're cutting 3 inch by 4 inch pieces. So the card we're going to make, and I am going to make this with DSP and make up my own focal point, is this one. And that uses the Sweet Candy Canes bundle and just the sprig from the Christmas Banners bundle, just that sprig of greenery. Okay, so yeah, we'll get to that. The designer paper on mine is a 12 by 12 pattern, so really good for the 3 by 4 pieces. It's Celebrate Everything. All right, so why do we call this a faux stair step? If you've been doing this a long time, you probably have seen in the past stair step cards. Shoot, where's my, I had an orange one here. Yeah. Okay, so here's an example, and oftentimes they go this way because you have more width to cut this center focal point. This is a swap I got from Bethany Barnard long ago. So this is just an example. If you want to learn how to make one, I have one almost exactly like this on my YouTube channel maybe a year or so ago. It's made with Measure of Love, and it's Pool Party and black and white. but it is a stair step card like this, right? So similar idea, but it is cut. That whole base is from 1/2 sheet of cardstock. And it gets a little, you know, intricate here. Well, I mean, it's not hard, but sometimes people don't like to make these kind of cuts where you're internal on your card, and you're just going for a certain length. Okay, but that's what the stair step card is typically based on. It's something like this. So in this version, we have this really nice solid base. It's 2 rectangular pieces that are shaded spruce in this case, pool party in my sample. 2 rectangular pieces that make up our base and that we decorate. Okay, so we could have, I just for fun, I kind of laid out what a stair step would look like if I was doing it by the traditional method where you cut off, you know, just a length here, and you would have your focal point kind of similarly mounted. Let me just show you here. Your side pieces that are only a 1/2 inch here, where we have a 1/2 inch, they're going to get pretty skinny if you go in this direction. Otherwise, you'd have to make this narrower. But again, I love this idea of using a 3x4 focal point, so you could use those memories and more cards if you want. Okay, so anyway, just to give you an idea, this would be like the traditional stair step. Our faux stair step, to me, feels a little sturdier, shows off a little more paper, and is easier to cut. Okay, so let's get started. Put these aside. You start with, like I said, 2 rectangles. So for our pool party version, the focal point is mounted on the first piece, which measures 3 1/4 by 8 1/2. And it's scored at 5 1/2 here. So this is the full card height here, 5 1/2 inches. And the step to make this little like mountain piece, the piece to make that is 4 1/4 by 9. All right, and I am just going to burnish that. Oh, it's scored at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, and 5 3/4. Okay, so 1 1/4, here's 2 1/2, and here's 5 3/4. Okay, so that makes that back prop piece for the stair step. Looks like a stair step. Looks a little like an easel card too, done this way. All right, so like I said, we have these pieces for our focal point that measure 3x4. That's our designer paper piece pieces. I've also made the backing piece 3x4, and I didn't mat it. The matte pieces are 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. If you want to use matte pieces. So I did mat my designer paper pieces. Let me just go ahead and glue those down. And they'll be ready. And while I'm at it, we'll build up our focal point piece here. This is pretty easy. I didn't do anything too complicated with the candy canes. Okay, those pieces are matted. What I love about a set like this candy cane set is you get this mounted on your Stamparatus, and you can just cruise along and make a lot of candy canes. So instead of stamping the candy canes on basic white and then cutting them out with the dies, I have pre-cut the candy canes out of white. And I made a template to put them down on my Stamparatus. See, I can lodge these right into these locations in my shaded spruce background here and stamp them. Now, I made this shaded spruce background I started with a piece of shaded spruce here, and I actually put the candy canes down on the Stamparatus. Let me pull that into the frame a little better. I see that's kind of out of the frame. Sorry. Okay, so this started as a solid piece of shaded spruce. I stamped the candy canes in red. You can see I got a halo here because I stamped so hard. And then I cut them out with the dies. Okay, then I bring it back and I know the location is correct for that die cut, or for this stamp, right? Okay, so I can just, instead of stamping on the shaded spruce, this time I'm locking in my white candy canes and stamping them. All right, and I actually have, you could see there was some white copy paper mounted behind the shaded spruce because this little piece that's so skinny, I knew was going to take some abuse from the candy canes, you know, getting pushed in and out of the template. And I wanted to make sure they were glued in place. So that's why there's a piece of copy paper back there to hold that all in place. Here comes Winston with the squeaky toy. I take all the squeaky toys out of here on Wednesday. I take them upstairs and then he brings them back. That's so funny. Okay, so you see I've just got, because I already knew the location, I can easily just stamp. Oh, now see I've got a little ink that I missed there. I'm going to go back over it. I can just easily stamp on my white pre-cut candy canes. Okay, there we go. So these are distinctive stamps. They don't stamp super solid. They're a little shaded, but there shouldn't be any holes like when I first, you know, stamped that one. Okay, and like I said, I just have the shaded spruce glued to a piece of copy paper to secure these so these didn't get, you know, out of place. So it makes it easier to just drop in, you know, candy canes, as many as you would like to keep making. So love to do that instead of stamping and then cutting out candy canes on, you know, like on the Big Shot after stamping. So do one more set here. Give you the idea how you can just whip through these. So don't forget to make a template and use your stamps and dies this way to make your life easier. See, that one came out really good. If you ever are too light or want to go over it, you know, everything's in place so you can go over it again. All right, put this aside. And all right, so we are going to build up, like I said, that front piece. Might as well have this all made on the focal point before it's on the card. Okay, so hi Brenda. Hey guys, hi Terry, and thanks for joining me. So the candy canes, I'm just going to kind of figure out how I want them, and then I usually just you know, put a dimensional to kind of hold them together in place how I want them. Oh, somebody's going to make fun of my dimensional use. All right. This may have been a little overkill on the dimensionals. All right, so like I said, I have that little sprig cut that I can just put down there, and I need my Christmas cheer stamp. And, what do I do with my, oh, there it is, my oval punch. Very handy, that oval punch. It has two sizes of ovals, and you can mat them together if you like. That's in the annual catalog. I'm just going to use Christmas cheer in the solid oval, not the scalloped one. All right, and I'm going to put a dimensional to the side here, and the rest of this will just be glued over the greenery. So I'm going to kind of like lock that all down at once. Let's see. And like that. And let's see, somewhere I have some rhinestones. And these are fun to make. You don't need a lot up in the focal point. You know, it could be whatever fits in this rectangle. And then a lot of fun designer paper options. You know, you can go around it with the designer paper. So I love that. Oops. Got the filling from my pickup tool came off. All right. And we'll get a little twine bow. Linen thread bow, I should say. Okay, so all of our front piece is, all the decor is done here. And the rest will go together quickly. Thanks, Chris. All right, might cut that down later, but let's keep going now. We have that front piece, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the front of, remember the first piece that we made here, that was 3 1/4 by 8 1/2, scored at 5 1/2. I'm going to mount that up near the top, just going to leave a neat little margin. And it'll look funny because it's mounted up high on this piece. And then the other thing that we're going to do to get ready is put this designer paper piece that we've mounted on the red cardstock on the inside. That's this inside part of the step here. So we'll get that in place before we construct, because it'll be hard to slide in there after the little easel is put together. So I'm just going to put that right in its spot. And then I didn't mention, I don't think, this is a little 1 inch by 4 inch piece of designer paper mounted on 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. We are not going to put it on until we have the easel pieces kind of put together. This is the last cover piece for the front, and this is the last cover piece for the back. So we're going to set those aside and just put this together now. We're going to line up the bottom of this piece with the bottom of that little mountain folded piece. And we only need adhesive in this bottom 1 1/4 inch. So, you know, however you'd like to do that. If I put these side by side, I kind of know what my limits are, or I could put the glue directly on this piece and just not go out to the edge. But just make sure you've only got adhesive down in that range. Now, I'm going to use my grid paper here to center the bottom of this along the bottom of this. Okay, so this is the center line here, and I've got the edges 2 1/8 inch away on both sides. And then when I put this in place, it's going to be like we need a 1/2 inch left on each end. So however you want to do that, but I find it easier to do with the grid paper as a guide. Okay, you could also pull in a quilter's ruler. I always do this too, where you can just check your sides. And if you've got the liquid glue, you've got some time to slide that around. Okay, so now we have this not quite constructed. You know it needs to fold flat. Okay, so the last step, well, before we attach those cover pieces, is just to clamp this down over the back edge, and you need adhesive just along this section, and it's only like a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch. So again, being careful to only put adhesive where the flap is going to overlap, and then hold it all flat, because you know it needs to fold flat to go in an envelope. And you can see this is a total of 5 1/2 inches tall, and then this width was 4 1/4. So that is our regular card size. Oh, thanks, Karen. Okay, so now you can see why we've left this. Now we're just going to cover that with that trim piece that we have. All right, so that makes the front complete, and it would stand like so. And then the last thing we need to do is add our greeting to the back. Now these I usually put on with seal, the Whisper White, just so the moisture of the glue doesn't rumple the paper or show. So there's your greeting and your place to sign. All right, so there you have it. Very simple way. I think that's easier just because it's 2 rectangular pieces. Simple way to do what would, you know, typically be thought of as a stair step card. Okay, so we call it the faux stair step. Okay, cute. And don't forget, if you've got these great cards, how awesome they are. They fit right there. And they could fit under here too. So just have a play with that, and you can come up with a lot of different designs if you're using these. All right, guys. Thanks. Any questions? Any comments? Or I'm just looking back. Nope, not a lot of comments tonight. Thanks so much for joining me. If you need any of the products, of course, I appreciate your help in the online store. Also appreciate any likes, shares, and social media help that you can give me. Okay, guys, have a great week. All these dimensions and the still pictures will be on my website tomorrow, so you can always refer back to that easily. All right. Good night. Good night. Thanks. Thanks, guys.